Hi, I'm Connor, and welcome to Sophie's World. Soph? What are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing Modge Podge decoupage. Have you ever done this?
I am not. What is Modge Podge? It looks
Okay,
cool.
this is so much fun. This is a great recycle craft, and it's really, really easy to do. Now, what you're going to need for this project is you're definitely going to need a tarp or something to cover your workspace because Modge Podge is a little bit messy. You're going to need paper of any kind. It can be tissue paper, it can be newspaper.
Copy paper?
Yeah, and you know what else it can be? It can be like pictures from magazines. It can be pictures that you've printed from the internet, any kind of thing like that. It's really, really fun. You can just use basically anything like wrapping paper, any kind of paper at all. Now, the other thing that you need, which I love, are bottles. I love bottles. They're really, really cool. They come in all these wild shapes, you know, like look at this one. Isn't this cool?
It's really cool. And the best thing about bottles is that they hold liquid. So, when you're done Modge Podging it, you can drink stuff out of them. That's what I love about bottles.
I don't know if I would drink out of it once it's got Modge Podge on it, but it could certainly become a flower vase. You could certainly put liquids inside it, but I don't know if I would want to drink from the Modge Podge top.
Hey, but
you know
it
what I
still
mean?
holds liquid.
But the thing that's great about bottles, they come in plastic, they come in glass, and Modge Podge sticks to all of them. Now, you can also do this with boxes. You know, you can do it with wooden boxes. You can really do Modge Podge with anything. All you need is Modge Podge, a good brush, and you want to invest in a half-decent brush that is not going to fall apart because when you're doing Modge Podge, you're really going to be covering something, and you don't want the little hairs to be coming out of your brush.
So
you
if
want,
it's an old brush.
yeah, you want a good brush. You're going to want a good brush, and then just make sure that you clean it after every time you use it. And then you're just going to need little squares of paper or little pictures that you've cut out of magazines or whatever it is that you want to be using. So here's all you're going to do. How about if I show you what to do and you can go to town? So you take a little bit of the Modge Podge, right? And you don't want to water this down. You want to leave it pretty thick. And you can see it's got a pretty thick consistency.
So do you put water in it?
No. I'm using my Modge Podge straight from the jar.
Oh, okay. So no assembly required.
Exactly. All I had to do was pour it into the cup. And so now what I'm going to do is just like paint it onto here. And you know what I like about this bottle? You see how it's got all these ridges and stuff, which I think is really cool. So I just paint it onto the bottle like that, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then I take my paper and I just lay my paper on. And then I come back
and you Modge Podge the top of it to make it stick.
Exactly. I Modge Podge over top of it.
And to give it the shape.
Exactly. And the thing about it is, what's really cool here is that you can just do layer upon layer upon layer. So, you know, say you just did one color, like you only did like a blue, right? Like a light blue. The more layers of the blue that you would put on, the darker that blue would get. So you could have different areas and different shades that would be blues and then get darker and lighter. Why don't I let you give it a try? You can see how easy it is then. Okay, so I'm going to move this over so you're working on the tarp. You do want to make sure that you cover your work surface because Modge Podge is really, 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 really sticky and messy. The thing about it is if you don't happen to have Modge Podge, we like Modge Podge just because it has a special kind of shine to it. But if you don't have Modge Podge, you can make your own glue and water, and it'll work just as well for this. What you're going to want to do, though, is you're going to want to use about, I would say, 1 to 1, but err on the side of more glue than water. So if you're using 1 cup of glue, then I would use about like 2/3 a cup of water. And then you can just keep adding it until your water consistency is good. But it's got to be thick like this. You'll see this has a thick quality, almost like, I don't want to say pudding, but it's got a little bit of a pudding kind of quality to it here.
Yeah, it does.
But you don't want it to be runny because if it's runny, it's just going to slide right off of your glassware.
But if you're using it in quantities, you might want to have, an open window or something because it does smell kind of bad.
That is true. He notes something that's very interesting. It does have a little bit of an odor. So you do want to make sure that you use this in an area where the window is open or the door is open, or my sister likes to do it outside. She thinks that it's best to always use this as a project outside. But if you're not doing a lot of it, being indoors is okay too. And like I said, as long as you have a fan going or you've got your window open. So see how much fun that is?
Yeah, I could do this probably all day.
With lots of different,
Everybody.
yeah, with
With
lots of different bottles. The great thing about it is that they make fantastic presents. As you can see here, what my sister did, Frida did, she made Modge Podge all over with pretty papers, and then she put a picture of my mom and dad right in the center here. And I think her plan is to give this to my mom and dad for Mother's Day. And I want to show you something else that she's done here. She's taken a votive candle and she's covered it with white and then put little black spots on it with little black pieces of tissue paper, and see what it makes?
That's really cool.
It's a cow light. So that you would, isn't that fun? You put a little votive inside there and you light it and it becomes a little cow votive candle.
Because the dark spots are like shadows on the wall.
Exactly. It's really, really fun. And the other thing that you can do is you can get a little fancy with it. Once it's all done, you can add a little bit of glitter.
Whoa.
Modge Podge is a really great glue in that it really holds things solid and good. And what I love about the bottles that are out these days is they come in all these different sizes. I mean, look at this one. It's kind of like a teardrop shape. And then this one has just this really cool neck. So you really can have a lot of fun. This one, what we did when we were finished is we actually came back and glued with hot glue. We actually glued some fabulous trim around there. So that made that really spectacular.
That is really cool.
Yeah, and this is only made out of magazine pictures. These are all just little pictures out of magazines. Flowers and different kinds of shapes and stuff. Well, it looks like you're having a good time there, and I think I know what your mom's getting for Mother's Day.
Yep.
Now we just need to make some paper flowers to go in it. For more ideas of things that you can do with recycled craft materials, come and check us out at Sophie-World.com.
.com.
You really are doing a good job there.
Thank you.